Hi everybody, it's Katie. I am so excited to bring you the final island tour of Avonlea, a story from Anne of Green Gables. The very first place I put together in this island is the train station because that's where the story begins. And I have the train tucked back behind resident services with these beautiful little areas on either side for people to wait for the train. It's a pretty big, grand train station, which I didn't necessarily mean to do, but I really love the way that it turned out. And as you follow the road down around several different ways here, you can see we entered the rest of Avonlea, the actual town. My goal for the town area in Avonlea was to do a lot of different building side textures and put together a really beautiful old small town feel. So here you can see post office, bakery, of course the Nook shop. We also have the Able sisters tucked in there with the really old-fashioned dresses out front just to give it that really good old town vibe. My favorite of the buildings is this little flower shop down here right off the beach. I like the color spectrum of it and the way that it flows into some of the other areas. The villager houses are all put together in the same fashion with the unique siding and lots of really cute little furniture items in the yards. I just love the way that the shops and the houses came together. Tucked back on the back part of the beach over here on the peninsula is the Seaside Hotel. This is where Anne would have done the presentation, and I love the way that it really fits the nautical vibe. Also, to help with the nautical vibe, I included a little bit of a fishing shack here because the rock was so big and beautiful, and I just felt like it had a lot of room for it on that area. The beaches in general were treated very differently than I've done beaches in the past. I'm using quite a few flower, weeds, and patterns mixed up with 3 very specific items. The first is the decayed tree, whitewashed, and then also the log bench that's customized to the white, and the little standee. And I love the grass standee and its fall customization. Outside of the small town feel that we have in the town of Avonlea, the rest of the island is put together in a really rural, country, cottagecore style. Up here, tucked back in and out of the villager houses, you'll see a lot of farm stuff too, so the island can also be considered a farm core island. One of my favorite areas of the whole island is the view down to the Lake of Shining Waters. You can see here it just kind of flows out through a big chunk of the middle of the island. I wanted to do a bridge up here on the second level and have it be really grand, so this is my little covered bridge area, and then up here is Diana's house. Diana is one of the characters from the book, and her house is decorated if you wanted to come and check it out by visiting the dream address. Back here we have a church with a little graveyard next to it. We really have set up the church to be this beautiful social area right behind Diana's house. This picnic social area is where Anne and Diana would have met, and I really love the way that it transitions over here into the orchard, which is right next to our other character. This house here is actually Gilbert's house, and it is also decorated pretty simply on the inside. If we go from town to the right, instead of up to the left like we did before, if we go all the way across over here to the right, there are 2 other areas we can check out. This one goes up towards Green Gables, which we'll check out in a minute. Down here, we're going to cross over the top of the bridge and check out the beach area down here on the right side of the island. In addition to the regular stuff on the beach, this right side has a little bit of living area for the beach. Beautiful place to sit out and enjoy the sun, the little swing to play on, and the campsite down here. I decided to add a little extra seating and a little extra decoration down here since we had both the dock and the campsite. It just looked like the kind of place that all of the people who lived in Avonlea would come down and enjoy a summer day. In reality, they probably didn't have much on the beach, but I still think it looks really precious down there. Up from the beach is the schoolhouse. I tried to create a different sort of structure with this schoolhouse and added a custom bell on the top of it so that you could tell it's where the schoolyard was going to be. Most of the school decorations are on the outside of the school. If we take that other path, the one that goes up over here from the right side of the island, we are going to see some of my favorite parts. We have more villager houses, of course. They are just the same as the others where they're tucked in and out with these beautiful little farm decorations, and in a lot of ways I think it has such a sweet feeling to it. It's been a long time since I've done a cottagecore or farmcore vibe on an Animal Crossing island, and I was surprised at how peaceful it felt to decorate in this fashion. When Anne first arrives on Prince Edward Island, she passes some really cool places. This is the White Way of Delight, which of course the villagers call the Avenue, and Anne renames it because she has such an imaginative spirit. Another one of the areas that she imagines a name for when she's in the cart ride with Matthew on the way to Green Gables for the first time is the Lake of Shining Waters. That's a big part of why I created the lake here in the middle and wanted it to be a beautiful and important lake, because it just seemed like I should capture that moment when Anne is seeing the area for the first time. The last area to tour is the precious Green Gables. I am in love with the way that this farmhouse came out. It just is really simple and basic, but somehow it captures everything that I love and enjoy about this story. In addition to the house, we have the barn down here with the cow, and I really love all the different farm produce. I tried to keep a really good variety mixed up with a lot of very friendly flowers. If we head back into the house itself, you'll see that I have decorated 3 areas in the house: the main room, the basement, and the upstairs is Anne's room. I set the main floor living area up to represent several different parts of the house. We have, of course, a dining room area here with the kitchen and a little bit of a living room and a sewing area. I wanted it to feel rustic and a little bit old-fashioned, peaceful, part of an old-time world, but also really focused on what Marilla would want to do in the kitchen. We're going to move down to the basement next, which I put together as a cold cellar. So we have lots of canned goods and supplies, as well as farming equipment and wood, things that they would have needed. A lot of this would probably have been held in a barn if we had an interior structure for that, but I just really liked the way it helped create the illusion of the time period. Last on our list is Anne's room. I tried to keep it looking very beautiful cottagecore style, but with a lot of personality that reminded me of Anne. So it's full of interesting outdoor objects as well as books, lots of books since she loves reading so much, a place to work for schoolwork, and I just think it is perfect. Check out the flyover of the island. I really appreciate you guys watching. It's going to be a little while before the next season starts for my Animal Crossing islands, but when we do, I'm looking forward to sharing that with all of you. If you have a moment, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel, as it really does help me out as a small creator. And with that, I hope you found something useful here and continue creating in this game. Until next time, have the best Animal Crossing day.